and he and him, and they and them, and I and we. An unmarried girl from mainland China is murdered, her remains refused out of custom by her own people. Old country traditions making the some parts of her lived life somehow smaller. Unspoken norms I swear to resist. Strangers collect her body in Kennesaw, Georgia, 2 weeks after her bullet-ridden corpse remained unclaimed from the morgue. 12 times a year, she sent money home to build more rooms, a bigger house for her mother, brother, clan. When the family patriarch died, she quit school as a teen, worked in factories, her past now forgotten, to be remembered as spa worker, undocumented illegal, manless girl, not sister, daughter, migrant. Model parents will frighten their children, point to her example as who not to be, the risks of going too far, forsaking a husband, breaking with belief. The ancestors can't keep close watch over faithfulness if they don't board airplanes, speak English. Her voice was loud and direct like a male. She behaved like an improper daughter, with the freedoms of a man, with the liberties of those that are given immortality, not realizing. A woman of color who insists on her freedom, pays with her life.
Educated woman from rural Texas scrubbed the toilets and floors. Her mind refused, but body used by old country custom. Pregnant woman in old Georgia protested her husband's lynching. Lynch mob strung her ankles high, cut the baby from her belly, stomped its skull answering stillborn cries, and buried them beneath bottled whiskey. Y'all don't know white folks like we knows them. Tried to teach her, Lord knows. When we opened the door for your entry, but y'all called us wretched. Fine. We made silence our patience. Said amongst ourselves, they gon' learn. Besides, our mothers busy shielding their boys against fires of fear and rage.
My 6-year-old boy is old enough to remember his first protest in support of Black Lives Matter. We circled 20 city blocks, horns blaring, hand-drawn signs taped to the car windows. Before the vaccine, we weren't ready to march, piling instead into our tiny black sedan to caravan with other families from the neighborhood school.
9:29.
Before the convoy, I explained to my son what happened to George Floyd.
9 minutes and 29 seconds!
How his life was harmed.
That's how long y'all took watching us die.
How someone in uniform who looked like mommy
With scorn or apathy.
turned the other way while a human life was snuffed out.
The minutes might well be decades.
In those last moments, how the dying man cried out for his mother who could not hear
Cause she
him.
dead after years shielding her child.
How we
against the
must never
fire.
stop using our privilege.
Now y'all gonna finally talk about privilege.
To listen, to name what is inhuman.
I remember my mother telling me you always look white people in their eyes and see the truth that they hiding from you. There was a time when they killed us for less. Don't let them streetlights get you out at night. When they pull you over, you get home alive. You gonna work twice as hard for half as much. Be magnificent where they're mediocre. When you master the game, they'll change the rules. Gotta get what you need by hook or crook. Don't let the police get their hands on you. Can't nobody do nothing for you then. If you must be a slave, then be rebellious. Obedient slaves had the worst of it. You be disobedient, but be smart. Remember, I'm raising warriors, not slaves. I've had two fears since the day I birthed you. That I should die before preparing you. White men could kill my child without recourse.
They came with their vision for a better future, my parents, like so many Chinese before them. My father's head full of John Wayne flicks, movie heroes with cowboys and villains, American beauty embodied in the ideal of Doris Day, not anime Wong. When I warn them both of the uptick in violence, I know they will say they have outlived world wars, martial law, poverty, and debt collectors. These crimes happen 20 miles away to other Asians in some other part of town. Other Asians say the shooter slipped through the cracks, mental illness, one bad apple. Because to admit the structures of hate are so much larger than any one of us is to erase the fantasy that a better life was ever available to us beyond a dream. Our stories acted out by people that look and sound nothing like us.
America bewitches the whole world with technicolor dreams, electrifies triumph, sweetens sorrows, then sells them back to we. For 3 easy payments of $39.95, you too can, like the whole world, arrive, mesmerized amidst the black and white nightmare. Do we run and hide from it, or turn and face the beast of our dreams?
I knew by the time I was 12 that I could never be white passing. The boy that was my classmate in grade school claimed I'd been his first girlfriend in kindergarten, held his sweaty hand, been his first love, even as he told everyone to hate me, that I came from a family of communists, none of it true. We felt sorry for you, he stated, as I looked for some sign of alliance in his white mother, his Mexican father, because he bore a name that marked him as different too, whether or not he spoke the language of his antecedents. My father, so outraged, he gave the school principal an earful, resulting in my antagonist having to write a research paper on the origins of communism and how it is distinct from other Asian identities, including our own. We fought back with our minds and our words, but not our bodies, which remember their own truths, the cold touch of the 6-inch blade that I bought from my brother's friend in high school, I carried with me throughout my teens. The canister of mace I bought in college after being followed and groped on the street by a man that assaulted only Asian women. In more recent days, I consider other forms of self-defense. Right-leaning, well-meaning strangers tell me to acquire a license for a handgun, since nothing ends an argument like putting a hole in someone. The only witness on the scene reported that the shooter locked the doors, aimed for their heads, like the streetwalker with a hammer who struck out at the woman's skull, like the invader who beat the old woman unconscious with a concrete brick in her own shop, like the first responder who threw rocks hidden inside a sock like a weapon at the masked face of the Japanese teacher of schoolchildren, taking away her ability to smile. These days we choose to keep our kids away from school. I am. We are part of a growing town. What we have to keep ourselves alive. To keep ourselves alive. Where I'd only known the menace of violent attacks before. Where I'd only been the recipient of hate mail. Stop having been the recipient of hate mail. Stop being the recipient of hate mail. No matter how many white guys you fuck, You'll never
anonymous
be white.
messages at the
heart
no
of
matter
water.
how
No
many
matter
white
how
guys,
many
you
white guys
no one
you
wants to
fuck,
call
you'll
any
white.
of these
You'll
acts
never
at the
be
heart.
white.
No matter how
Because
many
of the
white
white
guys
guys
would
you
be to insist
No one will
that
ever
our lives
call
matter
any
any
acts
can
as
be
hate
equal.
crime.
Because
Because
that the
to
lives
name
of Asian
because
women
to name
matters.
them
No
would
one
be
the
to
lives
insist
of our grandmothers,
that our lives
our
matter.
mothers, that our lives
our
matter.
sisters
Can
can
be
be
named that the
daughters.
lives of
Would be
Asian
the
women
lives of
matter.
Asian women
That
matter.
our lives,
The
matter.
lives of our grandmothers
Can be equal.
our mothers,
The lives
the
of our
lives
grandmothers,
of our
Asian
sisters,
women
our
matter.
mothers,
Our
our
sisters.
daughters,
The
our
lives
daughters,
of our grandmothers,
our mothers, our sisters, our daughters.